Hi guys.
Hi guys. Generally, we don't do such videos where we talk about our opinions on something that is not travel related. But Dhurandhar is more than a movie. It's a movement now, and we were fortunate enough to get tickets for the pre-screening here in Hyderabad, and the theaters were jam-packed. It was very difficult to get the tickets. Thankfully, we got. And we're here to tell you all about it.
So we'll discuss the good and the bad aspects of the movie so that you can make an informed decision whether to watch it in theaters or not. We'll start with the good first.
And let's be honest, the biggest strength of this movie is the storytelling and the writing. Because Dhurandhar 1 was very well written and it added to the hype. It made people, wait for Dhurandhar 2. Already on top of that top's grade story, it added a wonderful past to Jaskirat Singh Rangi, Dhurandhar's
Absolutely.
or Hamza's past. It's a beautifully enacted piece, beautifully written story, and it ties up so well with the spy narrative. I think that's my favorite part of Dhurandhar 2. On top of that, it added a lot of context to international occurrences throughout the timeline, tying up multiple political events. India's and Pakistan relationship is very well described, and also some other problems like the Punjab drug problem or the Khalistan issue. Very well written and very well told. It is spaced out. It takes you along very smoothly, to be honest.
Yeah, we have snippets from various newspapers which explains the timeline of the entire story. And a big shout out to Aditya Dhar, the way he has woven the entire story, the way he has connected all the international events and planted this character Hamza inside the entire story. It has been beautifully done.
So coming to Hamza and other characters, I think that's also a very big strength. Shout out to the entire cast and as well the director. I personally feel that Ranveer Singh was amazing. It's not that I feel, I think it's very evident that he was amazing. Every sentence that he spoke, every piece and even when he was silent, it was so appropriate, so well suited to the plot, well suited to the scene.
Special mention to the way he plays Jaskirat's character.
Of course, yes.
The character is very silent. He has to emote silently, and we will not go much deeper into it. You can go to the movie and you can explore how he has actually
if we
done.
describe Jaskirat at this point, it will be a very big spoiler.
Yes.
But it is one of his best performances.
पाकिस्तान का मुस्तकबिल अब हिंदुस्तान तय करेगा.
Then there are the big hitters, Sanjay Dutt, Arjun Rampal. I think both of these characters are driving this story. We don't have Rahman Dakit this time, so the major volume is driven by Arjun Rampal and Sanjay Dutt.
रो क्यों रहा है लाले? तूने सुना नहीं? जहाँ दर्द है, वहाँ मर्द है.
My father raised me a winner. I would kill for my people. It don't make me a sinner. From the coast to the plain.
And wow, what a performance by both of them.
Both of them have performed very well, and according to me, Arjun Rampal's character, that is Major Iqbal, has been written very well. So in the last movie, in Dhurandhar 1, we had Rahman Dakit, who was a grey character, of course an out-and-out villain, but still you can feel the way he feels for his wife, his son, and that is why Rahman Dakit had become such a big phenomenon.
Yes.
Same happened with, I think they have tried to do the same thing with Iqbal's character over here. There are multiple family related issues which have been introduced, and at the end, the way his character bursts out, that is just amazing.
हिंदुस्तानी काफिर का सर काटकर मुशर्रफ के दस्तरखान पर रखा था मेजर इकबाल ने.
I feel the writing, the nuance of writing a villain is very hard, very difficult, and they have done a fantastic job with both Rahman Dakat and Major Iqbal. Apart from the key characters, the supporting cast is also fantastic. A shout out to Sara Arjun's performance.
Yes.
Fantastic. She has very small role, but the set pieces she has is very heavy, and she has done a fantastic job in the entire movie.
And one of the complaints which I had with Dhurandhar 1 is that I didn't connect with the love story. But I think the way they have culminated it in Dhurandhar 2 is beautiful. We do not know what is the motivation of Hamza's character, whether he actually loves Yelena or not. That was not clear in the first movie. But here, there is no answer from Hamza's side. But at the end, you get the answer.
One more thing I really liked about Dhurandhar, though it's a primarily action movie, it ties up comedy, romance, and drama very well.
जरवारी साहब, आपने बतखें तो बड़ी सफेद पाल रखी है अपने फार्म हाउस में. या बटक्स आर रियली वाइट.
By the way, the action is amazing, well choreographed, but also very gruesome.
I love that. He was the one who was closing his eyes.
But yeah, that's a big strength. The way they integrate all elements of cinema.
So let's talk about the bad aspects of the movie. So I think there are many people who will say there is no bad aspect, but that is not true. Every film has flaws, and that's the same with Dhurandhar as well.
The challenging part would be to convey the bad without conveying the spoilers. We'll try our best.
So first point is going to be the way Uzair Baloch's character has been reduced to a mere pawn. Like he has nothing to do except the first 15-20 minutes of the movie.
Also, the way his entire character was handled, story, fine, it's okay. But you will figure out at the end, when the final culmination of his character comes, it will be abrupt, it will be unexpected, of course, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give credit to his character.
The rise of Hamza was very abrupt, and it looked like suddenly he just got all the power.
Yeah, it's like a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
we could not connect to the rise. Of course, they took about 20 minutes or so to build up the rise, but that's too less given the movie length is huge.
Coming to the soundtrack, if you compare with Dhurandhar 1, then the soundtrack is very abruptly used. There are few events which are very gruesome, like 3 children were being killed by certain character, and a very heroic music was being used.
And it was stretched.
Yeah.
Also, the lack of original songs and the lack of...
Only I think there is no OST. Only one OST is there.
Then, of course, in the bads, we have to talk about the hidden propaganda, which was hidden in Dhurandhar 1, not so hidden here. Not so hidden here. You will find elements of people taking names, people taking actions, calling out actions, people calling out political events. Very straight in your face propaganda. Being so in your face, with some names, with some events, it does not feel great. It feels you're imparting some kind of thought. And that's our opinion on propaganda. But you may feel different, but that's something we wanted to call out.
Now, another bad aspect, it can be good also for few people, but for us, it was kind of let down. That is the final plot twist and the big revelation of Bade Saab.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can stop the video right here because it may contain certain spoilers.
Exciting. The twist was exciting, to say the least. It was sudden. You were not expecting that.
This particular plot twist was unexpected.
And when it comes, you will suddenly smile, you will enjoy. But as...
You will clap, you will hoot, you will shout.
But as the scene ends or as the story progresses from that twist, questions came to me, questions that were not very well addressed. Because when you make such a big turn in your story, you should make sure that some hidden aspect of the previous timeline integrates as well. But the characters' choices, the characters' behavior, the characters' some very, very core choices, like family-related choices were getting hurt, which were... you would not make that choice ever logically if you...
Even if
Yeah.
that you are into that system,
Huh.
still you would not make such a choice,
Correct.
considering that your own people, your own blood relatives will get impacted by that, and it puts I think the relationship between Hamza, Yelena, and the entire politics in a big question.
Yeah, it doesn't explain the relationship at all.
Yeah.
And of course, Yelena's character is very, very tragically written. And it is something that I also felt that those tragedies, of course, not always explained. She experiences those, she addresses those, but those were not necessarily explained. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but if you look at the logical aspect of this twist and trace it back to the story, it will not integrate that well.
Also, the way the character arc of Hamza concludes in this movie is not very realistic, I would say. Like, of course, I don't know what happens to Spice, but whatever we have heard, or like in previous movies, also we have seen. So, previous documentary, not Bollywood movies, documentaries have pointed out how the lives of Spies end, but the way it has happened here is very
Bollywood.
Bollywood filmy, yeah, and too much optimistic. That
Yeah.
is not realistic.
So
that is
what
what I would say.
what made Dhurandhar 1 such a big hit and Dhurandhar 2 so much hype is that Aditya Dhar's stories are not typical Bollywood. They're trying to revolutionize the way Bollywood should be perceived going forward.
Yeah.
But yet the ending was so Bollywood.
Very
It
Bollywood.
was very Bollywood.
Also, I think R. Madhavan's character is very
Filmy.
over here.
The dialogues are over the top. Some set pieces were not necessary or not expected also. Like, you will not expect those kind of behavior from people who are experienced, people who are under so much pressure, so much stress, and it doesn't feel flavorful in those situations.
Yeah. One very good thing about the movie that we missed in the good part is the post-credit scene. So the post-credit has a very nice scene. So we would recommend sitting in the hall and watching that scene. It's very nice.
Yeah, it was very, gave me pride. It's wonderfully written, and yeah, you will be leaving the hall. Aditya made sure that you will be leaving a hall with a smile and pride in your heart.
Post-credit, and even the last 30 seconds of last 5 minutes of the movie is very emotional, very heart-wrenching, and very nice to see that kind of a scene. Like, it's a very positive scene. The movie ends on a very positive note.
Some final thoughts. So I feel it is a must watch. Go ahead, watch it. Don't expect it to be as
Good as
Dhurandhar 1. If you stay true to the filmmaking process and neglect some flaws, you will still have a good time. A good long time.
Yeah. And honestly, the length it doesn't feel, because the movie is fast paced.
You will not be pulling out your phone to check notifications.
Yeah,
You will be engaged.
you will be glued to the screens.
Yeah.
It's a very nice movie, apart from the propaganda part, but it's honestly a very good movie.
So that's all from our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.